Hey, everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver, and I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. Hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
How's it
I can't
going?
believe it's already Wednesday night again.
I know. Feels like it came really fast.
It's going good. Obviously, I've been playing with hair dye today.
Yeah. Just playing, huh?
Well, not really. Someone else did it, but it's supposed to be more purple than this. It looks really, really red right now, but we're working on it. But thank you. I was telling my stylist, I'm like, I will know if this hair looks good because I have a live stream tonight and there are going to be a lot of comments about my hair. But I do actually really like it. It's really fun. I just wanted to do something really different.
Well, it's super duper cute. I really like it. Good for
Thank
wedding
you.
season.
I know. I was like, I have 3 weddings to go to in the next 10 days, so it'll be easy.
Yeah. Somehow wedding season came in August for our family, and we are running
Oh
with
my gosh.
weddings.
Yeah.
Wild. And somehow Scott managed to weasel me into doing all 3 of them.
I have questions about that because I
He
thought
was
this was supposed to be,
Yeah, he was gonna
somewhat here and then
officiate
somewhere.
at least one of those, and now it's me. Anyway,
I
it's
think.
probably fine.
But
Yeah,
BS.
completely bananas. Yep,
Right.
but it'll be fine.
Right. I need a few freckles. That's the thing. I'm not really a red head, but it's going to fade cool, I think. And we're going to put a purple wash on it that I think will help too. And I do really like it. I did my
Yeah.
whole head this time, which I don't normally do. So
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it washes and what it does. And
that's one thing I love about hair color is the way that it fades and it has all these different phases, and I think that's fun because then it doesn't stay the same all the time.
Yeah, that is kind of fun for sure. Well, good. Well, we're just doing August in Idaho right now, and not a lot to report other than the wedding prep for us. It's been pretty quiet at my house. The
Right?
puppy learned
It
how to
really
jump on
has.
the couch today, so that's not great. But
Uh-oh.
oh man, she's naughty. She is so naughty, you guys. Oh, I forget how stubborn and naughty basset hounds can be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The queen.
and
So stubborn
sassy.
and all.
She sits at my feet and sasses me if she wants my attention or wants something. Ooh, good thing she's cute.
Mhm.
It has been quite a true crime week. Quite a
It
true
really
crime
has.
day. So
Yeah.
I think let's get right into. We need to start with we have no Daybell news tonight. But we do.
We actually do have a little bit. I know it
We
seems
do have a
weird.
little bit. I know. Not a lot,
There's always
but I'll tell
something
you.
in there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is because it is actually pretty minor. But Justin Lum reported this morning that the Maricopa County Attorney's Office told him that the paperwork for Lori's extradition from Idaho to Arizona has been sent to Governor Hobbs uh, earlier this
Yes.
afternoon.
Arizona is on it.
So now Governor Hobbs has to sign the requisition and send it over to Idaho. And they still are saying it'll take 3 to 6 months for her to be extradited. So yeah, that'll happen. Now she can waive extradition or she can have an extradition hearing. That would be dumb as hell, but she might just because she has the right to and she likes to be in court.
She is who she is, so yeah.
Yep. So we'll see what she decides to do with that. But yeah, just a teeny snippet going on in Lori land.
It's
Last
nice to
night.
see things working though, as
Mhm.
far as that happening. Like Arizona's taking it up, things are still moving. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lori's family are all saying they've never heard of the near death experience before. Yeah. We
Yeah.
all figured that was a damn lie, and it was.
Well, Julie Rose says she stole it from her, but I wonder who Julie Rose stole it from. That's just my
Right,
thought. But
right.
that's just, my personal opinion.
It's a
And,
circulating story. Now,
allegedly and for educational purposes only.
right. Uh,
To
there
quote
was
one of my new favorite TikTokers.
mhm. There was some hubbub that happened in Pocatello last night. And there was a rumor on Facebook that there was a stabbing at the women's prison and that there was a huge police presence there. And so, of course, I'm like, holy shit. As it turns out, no, there wasn't. There was some kind of illegal situation that happened a few miles away.
Ah,
A huge police presence at, but it wasn't actually at the prison. So if you hear anybody saying that there was a big thing there, there really wasn't. Locals confirmed that no, this isn't at the prison. It is near the prison, but not at the prison. So don't uh don't listen to that jazz if you're hearing it from anybody. Now here I am spreading the rumor around, but I'm telling you, that
you're
was
just saying,
true. Yeah,
not true.
yeah.
That's the thing, though. As long as she's in that prison, there's going to be stuff. There are going to be rumors in that community that kind of stuff
Oh
is going to
gosh,
happen.
yeah. For sure. Well, and it'll women that are getting out of prison will be lining up to do interviews about her.
Won't they,
So,
though?
I'm
Oh,
sure we'll hear plenty.
we will. We will, because the local news is going to eat that up.
Mm. I wish we knew anybody that was incarcerated there currently. We don't. Not
I
that I know of.
genuinely don't know people in prison. I've only known one person that went to prison in my whole life. Not
Mm.
true. I've known more than one, but um,
My
anyway,
husband's family tends to go to prison, so I thought some of them might have an answer for me, but
that's true. You
anyway,
should
we'll keep our
probably have
feelers
him
out.
do a little asking. Maybe there's somebody.
Mhm. Oh, they like me. We're friends. I'll reach out.
There you go.
Yeah, because I really would like to find somebody. You know, I'd really like to find somebody in that position,
Right? It'd be
at least
so
incarcerated
interesting.
with her, that could give us some inside scoop. Yeah, I am
Mhm.
going to start being Lori's pen pal. I've been kind of waiting for the Arizona stuff to settle. Yeah.
Yeah, if you do it too soon, it seems suspicious, I think, and,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like maybe someday I'll have a new segment called Letters with Lori.
Oh my god. Fingers okay, I have trouble with this because I have RA, so I have to do it for myself, but fingers crossed. Oh, I hope so.
I can't do that either.
I wonder if Mark Means is on her visitors list. Oh my god, to be a fly on the wall. Kinda doubt it.
Right? Yes, I am
Think he's
shopping
trying
for
to
prison friends, right?
yeah.
Maybe what I should
Only
do,
one.
well,
Don't be too many.
but maybe what we should do is befriend, oh gosh, I
Robin
can't
Lee
think.
Rowe.
Robin Lee Rowe. Maybe
Ooh,
that
she's
should
not
be
much
your
older.
assignment. You befriend Robin Lee Rowe.
Okay.
I'll still work on befriending Lori or other people that are in prison with her. We're gonna get there. We're
We're
gonna
gonna
get there.
try. Okay. I'm gonna give that a shot.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give that a shot. That's
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, we can do this.
We can. Yeah.
People
We
like
can
us, god
definitely.
damn it.
We are
I
actually both
don't
pretty
know
good
if that's
writers. We're
true.
both published authors, so I think we can probably,
Yeah,
do a little something there.
they'll at least show interest. Like Robin Lee Rowe, she's been in prison for 35 years. She probably appreciates a letter here and there and would probably be
Maybe.
amicable to a friendship of sorts. All I'm saying.
Worth a try.
I don't know if she
Worth a
watches
try.
our podcast, but Robin Lee Rowe, we would like to talk to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna be sending you a letter.
What's wrong with
I don't
us?
know.
I
This
don't really
feels weird.
know.
Already I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
I know. I'm going to keep your feet in the fire.
You
That's what
probably
I'm
will.
going to do. Yeah,
I
Lawrence
can I
Sellies
can expect
probably
that.
would talk. Well, I mean, here's the thing,
Yeah.
you guys. The inmates at Madison liked her. They liked her. She was not hated. I mean, she was hated for the things she did, but as a human, she was a model inmate. When Judge Boyce said that, that was true, according to every account I had heard. She was
Yeah.
not a, a problem.
She didn't no, she didn't get in any trouble. She
Mm-mm.
didn't have any like demerits or whatever they call them there. She
No.
really did fine.
And she did get along just fine with the other inmates. So
Yeah.
Anyway, I have no idea if they can watch YouTube from prison. I was
They
just saying
have
shit.
tablets
I
that they
don't
can do
know.
certain things with, but we don't know for sure what all, they could do. In prison, well, they had those in jail, so probably not in prison. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no
Right?
idea,
Narcissists
actually.
are easy to get along with as long as you don't cross them.
True.
That's the thing with narcissists. If you wound them,
Hmm.
totally different deal.
Oh, yeah, if you be their friend, you're probably going to be fine.
Maybe befriend a guard, right? Dear Facebook, are any of my Facebook friends a guard? Yeah, you're worth knowing.
Ooh, I used to know a girl whose husband was the warden. He's not the warden anymore, but
Ooh.
hmm, hmm,
We
hmm.
have local hookups like you wouldn't believe, as you all know.
Ted Bundy was nice too. That's true, Gran.
Yikes. Ugh.
That's so wild. Okay, well, let's keep moving because we do have actually a ton of cases
We
tonight.
do. We've gotten way sidetracked.
We have, but this has been fun to imagine.
Mm.
Okay, and way less than fun news, and news that will just infuriate the hell out of you guys, I'm imagining. Talk to us about Troy Driver.
Friends. Troy Driver, you may remember, is the man accused of murdering Naomi Irion. She was the young woman who was waiting in her car at like 5 o'clock in the morning to take a bus to work. This was in Nevada. And he got in her car and they drove the car away. And then her body was found a few days later. Uh, he took his own life in prison, guys.
Yep.
Troy Driver's dead. So no trial, no justice for Naomi Irion's family, for her sister that has been so active on Twitter. And I'm heartbroken for them that they don't get any kind of justice with this dude. And maybe it feels like justice that
Mhm.
he's dead, but he certainly did not get a trial. And it,
Nope.
it, it is infuriating. It is.
It's especially infuriating because this was his fourth attempt.
Yeah.
How were
Yeah.
they
He has
not
not
keeping
been
him?
well.
Yeah.
Well, and there was some time where he was incompetent. There's been real questions. So, yeah,
Oh,
how
yeah.
was he able to take his own life in prison?
Yeah. No,
So
jail,
they're
not prison.
or in prison or in jail,
Yeah.
right. And he was in a maximum security jail cell and he had
Mhm.
no contact with other inmates. They should have been looking at him really closely. So the Nevada State Police Division of Investigation is looking into his death. So there's an investigation going on. And once that investigation finishes, which they think will be next week, then there will be a press release to explain more. But we
Mhm.
don't really know exactly um,
Yesterday, they were
what
calling it
happened.
self-asphyxiation,
Yeah. And
but
that's what most prison suicides are.
yeah.
Now, let's
Mhm.
see. Irion's brother, Casey Valley, said, I deeply regret that he took the easy way out before the trial, but I have no doubt in my mind, given what I have been privy to, that he is the perpetrator. A lot of mixed feelings at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
sure for the family, that's rough.
I've been on Twitter with Naomi's sister since her
Yeah.
disappearance, and when the news broke, she deactivated her Twitter account. I can only imagine. I can't even
Oh, yeah.
imagine. I'm just so
Right.
angry and
Yes. Israel
frustrated.
Keys did the same thing.
Yeah.
Ariel Castro. Yeah.
Mhm.
It is certainly a thing that happens.
Yep.
But yeah, it does make me sick.
Yep. Yep. So we'll remind you one more time of the family's campaign to trust the family. This was the hashtag they circulated after Naomi's body was found and Troy Driver was arrested.
Yeah.
Because, as you recall, this family did a lot of the police work themselves in the early beginning. The brother did. And had to absolutely beg the police to get involved and acknowledge that Naomi was missing.
Right. They did a bunch of their own investigation
Mm,
before the police even got involved.
yeah. Very, very frustrating. Yep. Yep. So there's that. Well, there has been quite the excitement in Utah today, if you haven't already heard.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
I'm going to show
And
you a
this stuff
few.
feels local to us, even though we're in Idaho. We are in this corridor that is connected to all of these communities, and because of our upbringing connected to these communities. So when this
Mhm.
stuff happens there, it feels like it's very much local to us.
Right. Well, I went straight
It
to his
feels that
Facebook
way,
page to see if he had friends that were local to us, and it's
right?
locked now, so I
Or
couldn't tell.
family
But
members easily
yeah,
could.
easily
His
could.
last name definitely indicates that he could.
Yeah. So we're talking about Craig Robertson. Craig Robertson has been making threats against the president, the vice president, the director of the FBI, and the Alvin Bragg, the New York City DA, for quite a while. These are a few of the things from his Facebook page. Perhaps Utah will become famous this week as the place a sniper took out Biden the Marxist. Essentially, long before Biden was coming to Utah, this was happening. But since it was announced that Biden was going to be in Salt Lake today, his stuff really amped up. These are just four of the many, many, many posts that he has made. In my dream, I see Joe Biden's body in a dark corner of a DC parking garage with his head severed, lying in a huge puddle of blood. Hurrah.
I
I hear
mean,
Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off of the M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon in chief. And hey, FBI, you still monitoring my social media? Checking so I can be sure to have a loaded gun handy in case you drop by again. The last time the FBI confronted him, it was as he was walking out of an LDS church.
yeah,
And because of some of these things that he'd been posting on social media, and
yeah.
he had a bit of just a verbal altercation with them and told them to come back with a warrant. Well, they did come back
And
with a
then
warrant.
posted all this stuff threatening to kill them,
Mhm. Yeah.
and then reposted all of it. All of that got reposted in the last couple days,
Uh huh.
with Biden actually making a stop in Salt Lake City
Yeah.
today.
So, the FBI went ahead and swung by this morning about 6 a.m., about 5:45 a.m. It sounds like. Uh,
Mhm.
this guy has posted extensively about his how many guns he has and his willingness and ability to
Photos,
use them. He's 75-ish and a veteran, is my understanding. Uh,
right.
pretty unhinged and pretty scary. And so, yeah, they swung by to take him into custody this morning. The arrest affidavit is absolutely chilling. I read through it
It
this
is.
afternoon. Most of it is this same kind of stuff that I showed you guys. The stuff that
Yeah.
he said he wanted to do to Alvin Bragg is absolutely terrifying.
It's horrifying.
And so they showed up there, and we don't know exactly what happened yet. They haven't released a lot of details. What we know, a neighbor said that he saw a huge police presence around 5:45 a.m. surrounding Craig Robertson's house. He heard flashbangs, so I'm guessing they threw flashbangs into the house. He heard them
Mhm.
3 times command Craig Robertson to come out with his hands up, and then there was some gunfire. And we know that Craig Robertson was killed in that action.
Yeah.
Some people are already putting him on a pedestal like he's some kind of a folk hero. He is not. He's a criminal.
No.
This is scary stuff. And the
When he
FBI
made it
had,
very clear it was gonna be a showdown with the FBI if they came back. He's got
yeah,
post after post after post about that,
hmm
threatening the lives of the officers, that
hmm
of the 2 agents who had spoken to him before.
yeah,
I mean, this isn't just little threats. This was big
no.
threats.
Oh, no. The arrest affidavit is really something. I'm not going to read
It
it
is.
because we don't have time, but I highly recommend that you Google it and read
It's
through it.
disturbing.
It's very disturbing. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And
this guy
no,
made it pretty
definitely
clear what
not
he
First
wanted to
Amendment
happen.
rights. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You cannot threaten the president of the United States. We all know you can't. And
hmm
then when you threaten it with ways to back it up, when you
hmm
are in the same state where he's going to be on that
hmm
day, sorry, but
Yeah. It's just not going to
you
fly. Give me a
can't.
break. Yeah. Awful. So thank goodness they did pay attention. Yeah. Let's see. Amanda said, I'm glad someone paid attention before something happened, at least. Agreed. I'm guessing
Yeah.
people had reported his page right and left.
I will imagine just
Just,
looking at those posts, if that was showing up on my Facebook feed, I would be
mhm,
like, 911 FBI.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, it's not just 1 or 2. I mean, it's over and over and over again,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Joelle, good point. She said, just a caveat. I hope it's on video. I do not want to view it. Yeah, me neither. But
No,
I
I
hope
don't
it is
either.
too, because
Oh, I'll bet it is.
you
That's
know,
everything is filmed now.
before all the folk songs start being written about the hero, the Craig Robertson. Yeah. Scary. I don't care which president is scary and not
Very.
okay. And the stuff he said about Alvin Bragg absolutely turned my stomach. I'm not even sharing
Eh,
that on this show because it's just too
Horrifying.
damn much.
Yeah, the very
Mhm.
detailed
Mhm.
ways that he wanted to murder him is
Mhm.
it's terrifying.
It really is. It's really terrible. So there you go. We've been saying for a while now that Utah is not okay.
And it is still not okay.
Still not okay.
Oh,
Speaking. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to answer a question really quickly. Let me find that. About the Wagner case. Somebody said there's a hearing trying to
Yeah.
drop the charges. Well, that hearing, according to what I'm finding, that hearing already occurred. That the charges agreed with the prosecution to dismiss the charges against Frederica Wagner.
Really?
Yeah. So she is the grandmother of that
Yeah.
crew, and that she lied um, to a grand jury, and she lied about some bulletproof vests that were in her home, and that those charges were dropped at the end of June. So if I can't find who posted that, but if you know something else,
It
tell
was
me.
Lindsay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Lindsay, if there's something else you know of, but what I can see here is that those charges have been dropped with the agreement of the prosecutor.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
she's not the biggest fish by any stretch, and
No.
they're probably just damn tired of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They are, and they've got one trial left. There's a hearing on it tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I don't know what that is. This reporting was of June 27th that was
Oh,
dropped. So
well,
if you
maybe
see
there's
something
more
else, Lindsay, let us
charges.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's another charge that they haven't dropped yet.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Adam Montgomery.
Adam Montgomery. I said something real rich about him earlier, but I can't say that on the air. Well, can I?
I
Can't I?
mean,
Should I? Will I? Probably. I said Adam Montgomery can suck my dick
yeah, you
because
did
he's a
say that.
rotten douche.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was in court a couple days ago, because he's just always on trial for something else. And he made a statement to the judge. He said, "I did not kill my daughter, so please do not consider anything concerning that case when you sentence me for these charges."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Gross. Ugh.
The thing that really
Good. Jenny
pissed me
says he
off.
can suck her dick too. Good.
Well,
Awesome.
okay. All of them, Adam, bitch.
Oh, I
Um,
just cannot stand him. And when he
thing that
stands up
killed
with
me.
that arrogant bullshit to that
Yes.
judge, when his little girl is still missing and presumed dead,
Mhm.
ooh, I have nothing for that guy other than a punch.
Well, and tells the court not to sentence him based on judging him about what happened to his daughter because he didn't kill his daughter and he loved his daughter. Uh huh.
Then where is
Okay,
she,
Adam.
bitch?
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
my ass. Anyway, that just turned my stomach, man. He's
Hmm.
so disgusting.
Yes. Well, speaking of disgusting, let's talk about Jordan Bowers
Do we have to? Yes, we do.
and a little bit of news about Oakley Carlson in general. So let's talk about Oakley Carlson because that'll take us into Jordan Bowers. Oakley Carlson, of course, is the missing 4-year-old from Grays Harbor, Washington. She has been missing now for a few years, and her parents have not been charged in her disappearance. And it's so wildly frustrating. Now, her dad, both parents did have some charges for not taking care of the health needs of an older sister. There's a sister that's about a year older than Oakley that has a congenital issue that she doesn't grow. She's also blind, and I didn't know that. But
Yeah, she's a
she has
very
to have,
disabled little kid.
yes, and she has to have daily injections. And they just weren't doing it for about 18 months, just weren't doing it. And so they did get charges for that, and they got charges because the children that were in the home had methamphetamine in their systems because it kind of looked like these guys were cooking meth in the house.
Yeah.
And so they both did go to prison for a little while for that, like less than a year.
Mhm.
Andrew Carlson is out. He is living life, you know, as if he doesn't have a missing child that likely one of them or both of them killed.
He's certainly not out looking for Oakley, now is he?
Mhm. No, not at all. Sure, not acting like a grieving father whose child is missing. That's for damn sure.
No.
Now, Jordan, the mother of these little poor little children, she did get out of prison on the other charges, the charges that had to do with the neglect charges, but was immediately rearrested and charged with a bunch of identity theft and fraud. She's just a fraudster in like every way you can think of.
Clearly, because this shit just keeps coming up.
Hmm. So, right before it was supposed to go to trial, she took a plea deal and she was sentenced to 43 months. Still no Oakley, still
No.
no charges, still what the hell is happening? But there was some interesting, there was a, sorry, this came out on August 1st. This is a document that gives us a little bit of information. It's actually fighting out health and welfare and the sheriff's office and some information that the sheriff's office had subpoenaed or demanded basically from child welfare about these kids when they were investigating Oakley's disappearance. And they supposedly asked for or were able to receive some of the information regarding the parents that was maybe illegal or dubious that they should have received it about their care and addictions and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
her attorneys were the ones that were fighting this. And I don't fully understand it. So I'm not going to pretend as if I do because I don't, except for that, what in the actual fuck? Really?
Right.
But we learned a couple of things that we didn't know. One of them, at least that I didn't know, is that that poor little thing is blind, the older sister.
Mhm.
Uh, the other one is that one of the children told DCFS that Oakley was living in a cage under the stairs. They had a cell or a cage of some sort living under the stairs. You remember that their house burned, partially burned,
Yeah.
and the parents blamed that on Oakley and said that she started the fire. Remember, she was about 4, so
Yeah. If your 4-year-old
that was
starts a
their
fire, you know
fault.
whose fault that is?
Yeah,
Yours. Yeah.
and that she was punished for that. And then, of course, the school principal came to the house with some supplies for them, and she's the one that
Right.
discovered Oakley was missing. Finally, about a month after Oakley went missing, Andrew finally filed a missing child charges. They told police that they lost track of her. And they weren't even sure what the date was, but they did lose track of her around like, we don't know, from this date to this date, as you do with a 4-year-old, don't you know? I have wondered all along, how were they living in that house?
Right.
I mean, most people, if you have a minor fire, you're out of your house for a while, right?
Right.
Well,
There's always
apparently,
at least, the smoke smell and stuff has to be cleared out. It's not safe.
apparently the insurance company told them they could not live in the house, that it wasn't safe, and they were just doing it anyway
Of
with those little
course.
kids. With those little kids. Yep. So the one of the children told DCFS that when Oakley started the fire, she was beaten and put under mom's bed for a while and then put in the woods.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They killed her, hid her
Yep.
body, and then
Yep.
after a while put her in the woods.
Yep. That's sure the hell what it sounds like. One of the children also told DCFS that they were told they were not allowed to speak about Oakley anymore, that Oakley was no more, that there is no Oakley Carlson, and that the wolves ate Oakley.
I cannot understand a criminal justice system that can hear those words from children for a child that they have lost track of, and these parents get no charges for that.
Mm-hmm.
This child is obviously dead. Where
Mhm.
else would she be? Wandering out in the woods till she's 18 and just walks out
Right.
safely? I don't, and we've seen this happen so many times, and it is a problem across the United States. I don't know in other
Mhm.
countries how these things are happening, but when they happen here, if that baby's body never turns up, they can never charge the parents.
Yeah.
I cannot understand that.
How is this the way? People
They
have
are
been
responsible for that
screaming.
child's life.
Hmm. People have been screaming from the rooftops in Washington to do something about this. And yet, here we are. So, yeah, Ferry
No,
said that the social worker on the case got promoted to supervisor after this.
right.
Because DCFS really dropped the ball on this case, too. Really dropped
Well,
the ball.
everyone has, but legally, part of
Everyone.
their problem is that they can only work within the law,
Hmm.
and child protection laws are individual by state.
Yep.
That's a really important thing to understand. You should know
Hmm.
what your child protection laws are like. In Idaho, our child protection laws are parent protection laws.
Yep.
Our primary goal is reunification, which most states are, and I do understand that to an extent, but it really is parental rights laws, not child
Yeah.
protection laws.
Yep.
And
For
this is
sure.
why this shit happens. And these
Hmm.
people just go free because they just keep their mouth shut and don't tell anybody what happened to their little kid.
Yep.
It's so sickening, but it's something you really need to know and know what are your laws and find
Hmm.
out what's happening, in your criminal justice system in your state. How
Yep.
can there not be more that can be done in this situation?
Yep. But
Right?
also,
Children don't have
where
any
the
rights. They
hell are
don't.
the grandparents? Where are the aunts and uncles? Where are
Right.
everybody else that are related to this child? Why aren't they screaming from the rooftops? But they're not.
Right.
Now, there was a
Everybody's just
family
got their mouth shut.
that, right, and there was a couple that had fostered Oakley for years, for most of her life, who fully intended on adopting her. And then one day she was just unceremoniously jerked out of their care and handed back to mom and dad when they were sober for long enough.
I know, it's so
And here
sad.
it is. And they're the only ones that are still fighting to find out what the hell happened to Oakley and to get justice for her.
Because
I
her parents
literally,
certainly aren't. They don't give a flying fuck,
no,
but they know. There's
yep,
nowhere to look because they know.
yep. So I put a Crime Online article in the chat room. That is where this document that I'm referring to is at, if you're interested in reading it. But I'm never going to stop talking about Oakley Carlson.
No.
Never, never. However, I'm going to stop talking about her right now because we got to keep moving.
We do.
Kristi,
But
do you want
yeah.
to talk to us about updates in Rex Heuermann?
Yes, this will come as no surprise to everyone else on the planet of Earth that has a half a brain, but Rex Heuermann does, in fact, have to give a DNA test to the prosecution. So, if you remember, Rex Heuermann is the Gilgo Beat, is the thought to be, has been charged with 4 murders in Long Island, the Gilgo Beach killer, at least part of the Lisk killings. This is a very famous unsolved case of
Hmm.
multiple deaths.
Yeah.
So when they tracked Rex Heuermann down, because they had some DNA,
Hmm.
he threw away a pizza box with some crust in it out in front of his office, and law enforcement witnessed that, took it, they tested the pizza, the DNA on the pizza crust, and matched
Hmm.
it to Rex Heuermann, right? That's
Right.
how they were able to have probable cause to arrest him. So now his attorneys have contested that the prosecution didn't really establish enough probable cause for them to physically witness a DNA sample being taken from him and processed.
Hmm.
And a judge said, Yeah, no, you're definitely given the swab. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just the system working the way that it's supposed to, and of course we want to make sure that the pizza crust matches Rex. Blah blah blah. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
want all of that for sure. But holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he is
But
now
but it won't go into CODIS, right? Until he's actually
not yet. He has to be
convicted.
convicted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
they can compare individual cases, and there are some that they've been wondering about. There's a lot of investigation still going on because there's thoughts that these are not the only four
Mm-hmm.
murders he did. Um, so they will actually have the DNA and can compare it, but to actually go into the system, I do believe he has to be convicted.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we shall see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one blew me away. I mean, I shouldn't, because I know this is just defense attorneys being defense attorneys, but holy crap, man.
Yeah.
And the judge was basically like, there's nothing to lose here because if, in fact, the pizza DNA was not Rex Heuermann, then maybe he's not the killer. So
Right. So
nothing for the defense to lose in this
right.
because it could have, it could actually work on their favor. It's not going to. I mean, they were very sure and they surveilled him for a long time. I mean, it's not like there's a question, but the judge
Right.
was like, this hurts no one. So, yes, of course, you have to do this.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good on the judge. Well, it must be Joy. I saw your comment. I'd like to see a podcast do a detailed study on all the 4-year-olds that have gone missing since 2020. It would be
Right?
interesting. I mean, I can think of about 6 right off the top of my head,
Yeah, that
and we're
we've
talking
covered.
about 3 of them tonight.
Yeah.
Uh, so we've talked about Harmony, we've talked about Oakley. Now we got to talk yet again about Jessica Mast. Now,
Yes.
Jessica didn't disappear. Jessica's body was found, but Jessica was murdered. If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, the just a day or two after Christmas, she was murdered by her parents and the neighbors. They were Mennonite families who were trying to beat the demon out of her mother. And so they'd been coming over every day and for weeks and dishing out beatings to mom, and then decided that also those beatings were going to have to happen as well to the children. There was 4-year-old Summer, there was the 2-year-old little boy, and then there was an infant that was unharmed, thank God. But the 2-year-old little boy was beat within an inch of his life, but he did live, poor little thing. And
Yeah.
Summer was killed. And we've been waiting
Jessica.
for justice. Or not, yeah, sorry, I'm looking at
You
Summer.
saw Summer.
Summer
Yeah,
Wells.
Summer Wells is
Yeah,
another one, right?
Jessica was killed, and we have been waiting for justice forever. So
With
Mary,
people who were arrested immediately, who we know were involved. It's so,
Mhm.
ugh.
Mary and James are mom and dad, and Mary and James were both bailed out almost immediately by family and have been living with family, just just living ever since. And we also know that the children were taken by family. Now, they weren't supposed to have any contact with those children, but the fact that they were just out for like 2 years, you can't tell me they didn't have plenty of contact with those kids and each other, because I just will refuse to believe it.
Right. Absolutely, they did. Give me a break.
In the meantime, finally, Ethan, the neighbor, Ethan Mast, had pled guilty. Well, now mom and dad have both pled guilty too, and they have now their bonds have been rescinded, and now no one's out. Courtney, the girlfriend of the neighbor who was involved in this, much, much younger than the rest of them, she has just been found unfit, mentally unwell, so unfit to stand trial. So now it's going to be 6 more months to reevaluate her. She's the only one that hasn't pled. And so now we're waiting for her because they're holding all of these guys in jail, withholding sentencing until the last trial is completed.
Right.
So we're just waiting. We also know that James has now fired his attorney and is representing himself. So good
Great.
luck,
Good luck with that,
James.
James.
Hmm.
Jesus.
Yep. So that's what's going on with Summer Wells, or not Summer Wells, every time. That's what is going on with Jessica Mast's case. Still no justice for Jessica. It is insane.
It is. The fact that they have all 4 of these people and they had a body and they still can't get this done, and we have all these cases with these children who've never been found.
Right.
I mean,
Oh, we have
come
3 that have
on,
pled
Missouri. What the
guilty.
hell?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, what? Ugh.
it is bananas. But every once in a while, I go and look for an update on this case, and that's what I found. So I'm passing it on
Yeah.
to you guys. That's what's up with Jessica Mast. So, Kristi, let's see. Talk to us about Alec Murdaugh. Murdaugh.
Oh, Alec Murdaugh. Whatever the hell his dumb name is.
Alec, Murdaugh, whatever.
He generally has the most hubris of anyone I think I've ever seen in my whole life. So, if you remember a while back, there's all this stuff going on about the death of Gloria Satterfield, who was the housekeeper of the Murdaugh family, and she died supposedly in a fall on their property in 2018, right? So a while back, he wanted to take back his confession of judgment in the lawsuit over her death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he already made a statement about what happened, but he just wants to judge. I want to take that back now. I don't really want to say what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the judge was like, "Are you motherfucking kidding me, Murdaugh? You're still in here with this shit?" And said, "Yeah, no, that's not happening. You're not doing that." You know, can you imagine what this judge thought when this came up?
Oh,
Like,
I'm sure.
seriously, go to prison forever, dude. You're already there.
This is the
No matter what else.
pettiest, meanest,
Like,
stupidest shit.
it is. I mean, he's still fighting stuff. He's in prison forever. And
Mm-hmm.
now he's got 9 million financial crimes against him and all this stuff. It's like, what the hell, dude? None of this is going to get you out for the murders of your wife and son. I
No,
just can
now
only
he's just
imagine
trying to
that
kick
judge.
anybody in the face that he can.
Yeah, he's just trying to hurt Gloria Satterfield's sons, who he defrauded to
Mm-hmm.
begin with, who finally did get their money out of him. And now is he trying to get the money back? Probably, because that's all he gives a shit about, clearly. Excuse
Well,
me.
there was some real assumption from some of the people closer to this case, from things his attorney said, that they were trying to preserve his accounts as much as possible so that they could get paid.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be sure they get paid, which
Mm-hmm.
fuck all the way off with that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, you took on this dumbass. What?
These are the people that during his trial were staying in a $20,000 a week establishment on
Yeah.
his dime.
Yeah.
But Gloria Satterfield's sons should have to not get paid or give back the money they've received because Alex is a big fucking liar. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Paula,
Yeah.
I would pay big money for ringside seats to that. Alec
Mm-hmm.
Murdaugh, Lori Vallow, Nick Aliverdian, and Ghislaine Maxwell in the same room. Can you even imagine?
He's trying to
The
prove their
egos in that room would blow
superiority.
up the building.
It's
Yeah,
probably true.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what they would be doing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They
Right.
could. Can we just put them on a desert island together and just let them fight it out?
I hear there's one available.
Oh, you mean Epstein Island? Oh, gross.
That was a horrible
That's
joke.
true though.
Yeah, he could get a public defender. It's true.
Could you imagine if at some point Murdoch has to claim indigence? That's
He
what would
should
kill
have
him.
to claim
That would
indigence.
literally kill him, and I would be there for it.
How is he allowed to have any money at all after all the people he's defrauded? How? How is
Right.
he allowed to have any money at all?
He shouldn't have anything.
No, he shouldn't. He should be indigent. Absolutely. Yeah. Hate him. Hate
Such a
him.
jackass.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we did Vallow, we did Mast, we did Carlson and Robertson. Okay. So what do you have left? Kohberger.
Kohberger.
Yep.
So, oh, what?
Yeah, Kohberger.
Oh, Kohberger. Okay.
I think that's all we've got
So
left.
Kohberger's attorneys have filed for the third time a motion to compel Leah Larkin. Now, Leah Larkin is one of the roommates that wasn't killed. She's one of the roommates that was holed up in her bedroom when
Mhm.
the roommates were killed in Moscow, Idaho.
Mhm.
And boy, does the defense want to talk to her. And she's
Mm.
in Nevada, and she is refusing. Oh yeah, don't forget Duggar.
Yes, Josh is we're
She
going out on a high note with
Oh
Josh.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah we are. She is refusing to respond to any subpoenas. The state of Nevada has said that they don't have to force her to do anything and that they're not going to.
Mhm.
But the people that really want to talk to her are not the prosecution, it is the
Mhm.
defense. Kohberger's team really wants her. And we've heard all kinds of um, theories and conjecture and rumors about why that is, but we do
Mhm.
not actually know why that is. He has
Mhm.
implied it has something to do with his alibi. There's been an implication that maybe she was in on it with him. We don't know if any of those things are true, but for some reason, those defense attorneys want her. They want to
Mhm.
talk to her big time. This is the third motion to compel. The
Mhm.
problem is she left the state. And there's just not a lot of power, considering she's not
Mhm.
charged with anything, for Idaho to force her to respond.
Mhm.
So I don't know what it's really about, or if it's just a big show, because I think we're seeing a lot of big shows out of Kohberger's defense. The whole
Boy.
refusing to turn over his alibi like it was
Mhm.
some big important secret, and it turns out he was driving around at night, you guys. Yeah, we know.
Mhm.
He was driving around at night, killing 4 people. Duh, we all knew that.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. It's just weird. Are they just trying to throw guilt, throw doubt out into the world that maybe she's involved? Maybe there's something there that could totally be, because
Mhm.
they've been trying to do that all along. Is that what this is, or does she legitimately have some information that we don't know that is
Right.
important to this case? I don't know, but at this point, she is totally resisting.
Well, it's interesting to me because we had a source uh, that gave us some very accurate and interesting info about the Daybell Vallow trial as it was happening. That told us that by the time Kohberger was over, there would be charges on a roommate.
Yeah.
And we kind of said, well, we don't know who that would have been, and we don't know, and just conjecture at this point. But we did have a source that told us that turned out to be absolutely 100 correct about everything they told us about Daybell Vallow,
Yeah.
and are definitely in a position to know that. And so every
Right.
time the roommate thing comes up, I go,
What is
we weren't
what
told which
does she
roommate,
know?
but we were
No.
told a roommate would have charges by the time this was over. And so it is interesting. It
But
is.
Leah Larkin is the one they keep going after. I mean, they
Yeah.
keep trying to force her to talk to them. And so we don't know what it means, but obviously that source was absolutely correct
Mhm.
in all of the Daybell Vallow stuff. So,
Mhm.
guys, I wish our source could tell us more. And obviously, we have sources we cannot talk about or share at all.
Of course,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And see, Aaron, I think you're right. Aaron says Brian's on borrowed time now. I think he's being difficult just for the hell of it. But yeah, right. I mean,
Mhm.
if anything, they're throwing some doubt out there into the world, because that's what they want to create, is reasonable
Mhm.
doubt when it comes to his trial.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man.
Mhm.
This is interesting.
Just really interesting. Yeah, what
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 would
would
they
they
charge
charge
her
her
for?
for?
Did she let him in the house? Did she know who he was when she did she see him that night too and know he was there? We don't know. We don't know.
I mean, his camp says that her testimony will exonerate him. Now, do you
Right.
believe that's true? You probably don't. I don't either.
No. I
But
don't
I'm
even.
still really curious about this, and I don't want to conjecture too far into the weeds because I don't want to be that kind of podcaster, but this is pretty curious.
It is, but allegedly for educational purposes only, because as
Mhm.
far as we know, Leah Larkin didn't do anything. She's not charged
Right.
with any crime.
No.
The police are not looking for her. It's the
Right.
defense
And
attorney.
as far as our source, we weren't told what roommate, so we don't know. We don't know.
No, we weren't.
No. But it's pretty fascinating stuff for sure.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. And true, just because she knew him doesn't mean she's responsible for the murders. Any of
Right.
them. Any of
Absolutely
them.
true.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
So,
we're not trying to throw her under the bus at all. It's
oh
just
God,
interesting
no. Uh-uh.
that they have continued. They were trying to compel her to have to come to Idaho for his preliminary hearing. Then
Mhm.
the preliminary hearing, of course, didn't happen because they went to grand jury instead. But they are still
Mhm.
trying to get her.
Mhm.
They want to talk to her, and she does not want to talk to them.
Mhm. Yep. Pretty fascinating. There's definitely some stuff going on behind the scenes.
There is, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Kohberger has very, very good defense,
Mhm.
which I think is excellent because this is the kind of case that we
Yep.
want to be 100% sure on, because this is going to be a death penalty trial. This is,
Yep.
this is serious shit, and we want him to be adequately represented and have all of his rights protected, and that's so important. And
Absolutely.
so it's good that he has 4 attorneys now. He has like several different experts on his team now too, and it's
Mhm.
extremely expensive to us here in little old Idaho, unfortunately,
Mhm.
because it's all on the state's dime.
Mhm.
But I'm glad because we want to be sure.
Yep. For sure.
Right, Samantha? I'm sure she's tremendously traumatized and doesn't want to talk to anybody about this ever again.
Oh, I'm
Mm,
sure. My God.
could you blame her?
What a horrifying, horrifying situation. Yeah. Curious for sure. Well, let's do end on a pretty high note.
Oh,
If
can
you
we?
remember little Joshy Duggar, who was convicted of child pornography and was sentenced to, I believe, 12 years in federal
Mhm.
custody, and has had a hard time following the rules. Because, gosh darn it, Joshy hasn't had to follow the rules before. He's been one of the special pups, the cute little Christian white boys in his family that held all the power. And of course, his wife Anna and his gazillion kids have followed him to the penitentiary in Texas and are living there so that she can at least see them because, he's not allowed to see children due to the fact that he's a pedophile, a convicted pedophile. And Joshy and his daddy just keeps opening up his pockets to pay for more defense and more defense and more defense. And his attorneys just keep filing more shit because they're getting paid. This is my these are my guesses. Okay, this is my opinion. Well, Joshy, his attorneys were filing a brief a while ago, a few months ago, to appeal the whole darn thing. Because gosh darn it, Josh didn't do anything. This
This
was
just
probably
wasn't
the
fair, you
relative who
guys.
worked there sometimes, who was out of state at the time, but he could have done this all remotely, maybe, sort of, kind of, could have. We don't know.
Maybe with his mind, even. Who
Maybe
knows?
mind. And also, why not throw somebody else under the bus that's a relative who, didn't do a goddamn thing, but okay, all for Joshy, right? Well, but darn it all, Josh got in trouble at the prison at the same time that, yeah, child sex abuse is better than child porn. I agree, Paula. He was in prison. While he was in prison, he managed to acquire a cell phone. Now, you can imagine that little Joshy Duggar is not supposed to have a cell phone, but he had one, contraband. And so he got in trouble. What? All these consequences. Don't they know who he is? Anyway, he got consequenced and was in solitary for a while and wasn't allowed to have any visitors or, anything of the like. And got consequenced. But the funny thing is, at the very same time that he got in trouble, his attorneys were filing this big appeal to say that it's just not fair and he just maybe kind of sort of didn't do it and someone else did or planted something on his computer and set him up or all the things we did not prove at trial. We just still think it's not fair.
Right. Because, guys, I
Well,
don't want to be in prison. I don't like it here. I don't want to be here.
He doesn't like it there.
Sit and
Yes.
spin, Josh Duggar.
It's a
Except
hard
don't. I don't have
life.
any gloves on. Gross.
It's a hard life. Yeah, that's not. Anyway, well, guess what? Darn it all. The judge said, no, no, no. Appeal denied. Bye bye. Stay in prison. Keep your children safe. Amen. So there you go. Denied.
Yeah.
Appeals court upholds his conviction and says, nah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So yay
Absolutely.
for that. But
Yay.
this reminded me of something I heard last week that made me laugh so hard I cried. For real. Tears streaming down my cheeks. And it's not about Joshy, but it's about some other people who think that they are above the law, and if they don't like it here, they can go home. And it's the Chrisleys.
Oh. Yes. Oh boy.
Dear God, Todd and Julie Chrisley are in prison, because they committed millions of dollars of fraud on the government and on banks. They even signed that poor crazy old grandma's name to a bunch of stuff. They're the worst. And all the while that they're doing that stupid show, Chrisley Knows Best. And, as usual, the call was coming from inside the house. They
Oh
were
yeah.
the criminals while they were pretending to be so rich and fabulous. Todd, who had to fly from, I think, Georgia, where they lived, all the way to Los Angeles every 3 weeks to have his fancy little hairs cut. Todd, your hair never looked good. It never did. You
Dude.
overpaid by a lot, bro. You should have
Oh
gone
yeah.
to a corner barber shop and you would have had a better job than you were getting. But anyway, they don't like it, guys. So their kids have
They
a
don't like prison.
podcast. And in the podcast a couple weeks ago, the kids were talking about how terrible the conditions are. Wouldn't you know? Julie, I believe, is in Florida and Todd is in Georgia. And there is no AC in those prisons. And it's hot AF.
Yeah.
You know where
I
it's
have
hot? My
that.
house. I don't have AC either. It's hot AF. And I'm not even in prison. But that's okay. That's fine. That's an aside. But they are unhappy. And Todd has filed a request with the court multiple times that just keeps getting ignored, requesting to just do home confinement because he doesn't like it here. And for some reason,
I
the courts just keep
mean,
going, sit down, shut up, bye bye.
fuck around and find out. Like, come on.
But let me tell you what they said about the medical facility that Julie's in. Julie's in a prison that's specifically for people with medical needs. Because she does have some autoimmune disorders and some illness. Okay. Okay. And that's fine, Julie. That's fine. I suspect you're not nearly as much the criminal mastermind here as Todd is, though you're both dumb AF, but whatever. It's fine. Her kids, with straight faces, said on this podcast, as if this was true, there are rattlesnakes in the prison all over the place. That's what the daughter said. And then the son said, it's not just rattlesnakes, it's all kinds of venomous snakes. They're all over the prison. Are you two joshing on me right now?
They round them up and throw them in the prison. I mean, come on.
Apparently in Florida, if you find a poisonous snake, you just throw it over the walls into the prison. Can you even imagine that, for the love of God? Anyway, so, Julie's in Kentucky. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
A rattlesnake that lives in her cell. There's all kinds of
I'm
poisonous snakes, venomous snakes in the prison. So anyway.
Well, I mean, you were married to Todd Chrisley for a long time, so you should be pretty used to snakes. Just kill it.
Little ones.
Very
little
small ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say quickly, because Halo asked about Alexi Treviso, which is a case we have not been covering, but she's a young woman who gave birth to a baby in a hospital. She's dumped the baby in a trash can. Baby didn't make it.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And she's been arrested for it, but she's now blaming a nurse in the hospital and trying to say that it was actually a nurse in the hospital.
Yeah.
She's a trashy little shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's hard to cover everything. And sometimes the dead baby cases are just more than I can take.
For sure. But I did see that. Yes, I'm sure a nurse did it. That's
right.
That's the best you could come up with. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not cool.
Yeah,
But
that is
also,
a wild
why don't
case.
they put Ghislaine Maxwell right in with the Chrisleys and see
Yeah.
how they like it? Right? That was my question, Colleen. Does Kentucky even have rattlesnakes? Like we have rattlesnakes.
Oh,
Are
she
there
says no, they
rattlesnakes
don't.
in the South?
She says they don't
'Cause
have rattlesnakes in Kentucky.
I didn't think so, because like that's more of a desert snake. We have rattlesnakes. It's
I
the only
thought
venomous
so,
snake we
yeah.
have. And I'm like, I don't. That doesn't even sound like the right thing. But
But did you hear about the preacher this week? This was one of those churches that like do like real wild cult kind of Christianity worship stuff with vipers.
mhm.
And this dude apparently has been bit by a viper 10 times. And all 10 times he has refused medical care because Jesus. And he died. Their church
Good Lord,
claims, yeah, their church claims that vipers are as important to the worship in their church as the Bible is. And anyway, their pastor has now crossed over the Rainbow Bridge because of the 10th viper
I
bite.
just I I don't understand this world anymore, guys. I I don't get it. Like, can I get a refund on my ticket here? Like, what?
His 9 lives were up, right? Like, what the hell?
I guess so.
My
I
question is,
mean,
did people take little children to this church that didn't have a choice? I'll bet
about
they
being around
did.
those snakes.
Yeah, to be
Yes.
around those snakes. That is so
Yeah,
scary
I've seen a
and
documentary
crazy. Yeah, it took
on
10
that, and
times.
yeah, that's pretty amazing that he lived the first 9 times.
It really is. Anyway,
I guess no one
so
sucked out the poison? I don't know.
yeah, no, again, more of the fuck around and find out club. So anyway, but I'm amazed that it took 9. Yeah, yeah.
That's just wow.
So anyway, poor Julie Chrisley is spending her days swatting venomous snakes away
Yeah,
because
I am
that's her
so
life
sure
now.
that's true.
Hmm. Hey guys, okay. Like, don't say that on your podcast because you sound crazy, but whatever.
Right, and I mean, that's, like, actually provable stuff, and do you think that most people believe you? I mean, I know the prison conditions are not good. But do I
Yeah.
think there are venomous snakes in people's cells? No, I don't.
Hmm. How do we find these stories? These are the circles we run in. It's really
I guess.
when you Google too many true crime things, this is the kind of stuff that starts coming up. You know.
It just kinda finds us at this point. I
Hmm.
don't even have to look very far anymore.
I Whenever I hear about someone, that after they get arrested, what their search history looks like, I'm like, holy shit.
Uh-oh.
What does mine look like? I know.
It is true, but
Yeah.
you didn't do the crimes to back it up. Like,
Hmm.
Heuermann did the crimes to back up his horrendous searches.
Yeah. Yes. True. This is true.
I agree, Joelle, that I do think that prisons in super hot places where it's really
Hmm.
dangerous, the heat is dangerous, they should have AC. I agree.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah.
But who knows
Yeah.
what's even true with those dummies?
Right. Well, yeah, true. Maybe they just don't turn it up high enough for them. Or maybe they don't. I mean, there was that case out of Phoenix a few years ago with Sheriff Joe, who was in big trouble because of
Oh
the
yeah.
inhumane conditions. But he was having work camps. He was making prisoners sleep outside in tents to do like road work stuff in the dead of summer in Arizona and like
Yeah, in like
seriously life threatening
115-degree.
situations. Yeah.
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 I mean, there are
And I
definitely
agree with you entirely. There is a line there for sure. Yeah.
there is, but also agreed, Cranky, if you don't like prison, don't do the crime. Duh.
Well, I mean, we can say that, but how many people have we seen now that didn't do the crime that have been in prison for like 30
It is true.
years?
That has happened.
There's that side of
However,
it too.
these
But
fools we're
yeah,
talking about, not those people.
right. Yeah. Not those
I
guys.
think the gall of the Chrisleys to have a reality TV show while they are committing all these financial crimes, they are under so much scrutiny from the entire planet watching their dumb show.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's Alec Murdaugh, Murdoch
Level
hubris right there.
hubris. Yep. Right there for sure. Wild. Yep. Amy says half the schools in Oklahoma don't have AC. What?
Yeah,
That would be like schools in Idaho not having heat.
right. Yeah,
That
one.
that's definitely necessary. Yikes. Yeah, not good. Maybe I'm just delicate.
I don't know. Yeah, but it would be. I mean, it would be a risk to human life here to not have heat.
Certainly. Yeah.
I mean, we
And
can
I would
survive
think,
without AC. I choose not to. But yeah, but without heat, no,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. That's bad. Yeah, they were forced to wear flip-flops, have forced chain marches. Yeah, like there was super dangerous stuff that was being done to those prisoners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we probably better go.
I
So
think
we'll
we
be
should.
back next week. We're looking at a really interesting case out of Australia that I cannot wait to bring to you guys. Didn't do it tonight
Yeah.
because it deserves an episode,
Yes.
a main segment. We didn't have time for that, but lots of interesting things afoot that we'll be back with. Also, Corey
Mhm.
Richens has been back in court a few times recently, and I wanted to do something a little bit more sufficient with her as well. So
Yeah, we need to
we'll
update
get on
her
that.
case
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. So, well, you guys, thanks for being here. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.